Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine. Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagaragram Tarine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, we would like to welcome all of our YouTube Live listeners, our listeners over Facebook Live, and our listeners over Zoom. Welcome to all of you to this day 8 of Sri Vraja Mandala Parikrama. So before we start, we'd like to congratulate all the devotees who participated in yesterday's quiz sessions. We are really happy that the number is increasing, the count is increasing, and we want to see it increasing even more. So please, we request everyone to kindly participate. We are very thankful and we congratulate Flavia, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Soumya, Lalita Gompa Mataji, Rasika,
Hari Prasad Prabhu and Prasanna Kiran Prabhu. Thank you for participating in this quiz and writing on the YouTube, Facebook comments. Can we have the slideshow, please? Yesterday, we walked from Madhuvan to Shantanu Kund. We went to Talavan, Sankarshan Kund. We had the darshan of Kumudvan, Padma Kunda, Shantanu Kunda, and in the night we stayed at Ganeshra village. Today we start from Ganeshra near Shantanu Kund and we proceed to Sri Radha Kunda. First on the way we reach Khechari Village, which is the village of Putana. Then Bahulavan, Viharavan, Basauti. Then we go to Mukharai, and finally we stay at the foothills of Sri Giriraj, and this is where we'll stay for 3 nights near Radha Kunda.
So today we will be crossing the 4th forest of Sri Rajadham, which is Bahulavan, is the 4th forest of the 12 forests. Viharavan is not part of the 12 forests. It is one of the sub-forests. It's not counted as part of the 12 forests. So we should not get confused. But today we are crossing the 4th forest out of the 12 forests of the main forest of Vrindavan.
Next that slide, Lord Chaitanya traveled in. Next slide, please. So as you can see, we are starting from the right-hand side, Ganeshra, on the way, Bahulavan, Basauti, and our destination will be Radhakund on our left-hand side. So we have reached Giriraj. You can see the middle strip around Radhakund. That is Sri Giriraj Govardhan. We'll do some parikrama later, but first we will reach there. Next slide, please.
So today we will be walking a distance of around 24 to 25 kilometers. So it's not so much. It is much lesser than what we did yesterday. And how much we walked yesterday, it is much lesser. And today we will walk, till we come to Bahulavan. And till Bahulavan, from Shantanu Kunda to Bahulavan, we will actually cross through lots of village roads, lots of forest roads, and then we will come on to the main road. As you see, if you see the stretch from after the Bahulavan forest, Then there's a straight road coming straight towards Radhakund. That is the main road. That is the Vrindavan Mathura road that we are going to take to come straight to Radhakund.
Okay, next slide, please. So first, on our way, as we are walking, we reach from Shantanu Kunda Ganesh Ra, we reach to Khechari first. Here, this is the Putana Mari Girivardhari temple. That means Girivardhari, one who lifted Govardhan, and Putana Mari, one who killed Putana, the temple of such a wonderful Lord. Khechari refers to a demoness, actually, who has the ability to roam around and fly in the sky. And so Khechari Gaon is the place of residence of Putana. Next slide, please. In her previous life, Putana, she was the sister of Bali Maharaj. Next slide, please. Some say that she was his daughter as well, but her name was Ratna Mala. When little Vaman Dev, he walked into the Yagyashala of Bali Maharaj. Next slide. Ratna Mala was completely enchanted in her heart to see such a beautiful Brahmana boy. And she immediately desired, oh, this little boy is so delicately beautiful, so attractive. I wish I had a son like him. So Vaman Dev, as Paramatma in her heart, immediately understood her desire. Next slide. And then he approved and blessed her desire. Later, when little Vaman Dev assumed the gigantic Trivikrama form. Next slide, please. Trivikrama, one who has conquered Vikrama in three steps. Trivikrama. He took everything from Bali Maharaj. At that point, Ratnamala, next slide, please. She became very much angered and she thought, if I have such a child, I have desired that I want such a child, but if I have one, I would mix poison in his milk and give him. Krishna's Paramatma in her heart understood this desire as well and approved and blessed her. That is why in her next life, Ratnamala, she became Putana, who had the opportunity to feed Krishna, but feed milk with poison on her breast. Kamsa, she knew about this demoness Putana. Next slide. And he adopted her as his sister. So on his request, Putana, she could transform herself into many forms, and she used to drink the blood and eat the flesh of small children. She came in the guise of a beautiful mother to the house of Nanda Maharaj. Next slide, please. This is the beautiful lotus footprints of Krishna. And she came to kill Krishna. Her breasts were filled with deadly poison. But Krishna, he's the ocean of causeless mercy. He sucked the life air along with the poison and bestowed upon her a position that is equal to a nursemaid in the transcendental world. Sri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Next slide, please. Sri Krishna, as a little baby boy, these are little footprints, lotus footprints of Krishna, lotus foot of Krishna. He accepted the motherhood of Putana because she pretended to be an affectionate mother. So he allowed Putana to feed her milk because that is the nature of the Lord. He accepts the least qualification of the living entity and awards him the highest reward. This is the standard of his merciful and compassionate character. Next slide, please.
So then when Putana, when she saw that, Krishna was, sucking her life breath out. She started flying with Krishna in the sky, and her beautiful form disappeared, and she started flying in the sky. And then she assumed this, her natural gigantic form. And then you can see little baby Krishna, because he literally sucked out all the life from Putana, while taking her milk. And then Putana, she was trying to fly away with Krishna, but then she just couldn't, because her life air was getting sucked out. So she was choking and choking. She just fell like a gigantic mountain. And it is, some say that Putana's body was around 9 miles long. Some say it was 15 miles long. So it was huge. Her body, when it fell, it was huge. And all the Brajbasis, they were so concerned, because when Putana came, do we know how young Krishna is that time? Krishna was only 6 days young. 6 days. He was only 6 days young, but Krishna is Krishna all the time. Krishna, it's not that Krishna grew up and he became God. Krishna is God all the time. Supremely all powerful, all merciful, all compassionate, all strength he possesses. Next slide, please. And we can see how Krishna, in spite of this dangerous witch, this demon is coming to kill Krishna. Krishna just extracted, the life air out of her and killed her completely, just killed her. 6 days, baby, 6 days old. 6 days young, baby Krishna. But Krishna, he is so merciful that Krishna, he did not see that, oh, this Putana came to kill me, so I'm going to kill her and I'm going to finish her. She is my enemy. No, Krishna did not think like that. Who can be more merciful than Krishna? Krishna thought, oh, she came as a demoness. She had ill intention, but she came to give me her milk. So she fed me her milk, and therefore she is got the position of Dhatri. Dhatri means nurse. So, like the data, like daima, like that, they say in Sanskrit, Dhatri means like the nurse, who also takes care of the child. And, Krishna, he just extracted the good from Putana, and he gave his supreme compassion to her. And while giving her his blessings, he immediately transported Putana to the spiritual world as the position of Dhatri. She got the position in her eternal form as the associate of Mother Jashoda, and that she could be one of the ladies who had the good fortune of nursing baby Krishna. This is the merciful aspect of Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, 223 says, Aho Bakiyam Stanakalaputam Jigham Shayapaya Yadapyasadvi Lebhe Gatim Dhatyuchitam Tatonyam Kam Va Dayalum Sharanam Rajema. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he? Next slide, please. Who granted the position of mother to a she-demon Putana. Although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast, who is more merciful than who takes all the bad out and gives the highest benediction?
So in this way, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in this third canto, this verse that we just recited from, this is Uddhava, who is glorifying Krishna, that how merciful is Krishna. Next slide, please. That, how compassionate is Krishna, that Krishna is just taking only the good and he is ignoring the bad. We have so much to learn, that this is how we need to also react when sometimes things don't go our way. Next slide, please. We should not think that, oh, what is going to happen? How am I going to react in this situation? But rather, we must just have complete dependence, complete shelter upon Krishna, and know that Krishna can never do anything wrong with his dear devotees. He can never do that. Krishna is so compassionate that even who comes with an inimical attitude towards Krishna, Krishna forgives that, he neglects that, and he just takes the good. That is Krishna. And even in our dealings with each other, we must try to imbibe this mood of Krishna. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when envious people come, encroaching upon us. It's very easy to just respond in an envious way. You hit me, I hit you. That's the normal way of behaving. But as devotees, as practicing devotees, we must try to respond in a transcendental way. So, how much can a person keep hitting? If the other person doesn't hit back, then one time the other person will get tired. So, with this kind of attitude, we must try to imbibe this most merciful mood of Krishna. Then we will become most happy. We will become, completely burdenless. We will become very lightweighted, and we will learn to live in the moment, and we will learn to appreciate every minute that we are living in service of Krishna, and we will learn to count our blessings. So this is the pastime this is the lesson that we learn from Krishna killing the Putana demon. Next slide, please.
So now we come to Sri Bahulavan ki jai. This is the charming forest of Bahulavan, full of beauty. In fact, according to Skanda Purana, in the Mathura Khanda, it says Sri Hari's Sakhi Bahula resides here. Bahula Sri Hare Patni Tatra Tishtati Sarvada. Today, nowadays, currently, it's called Bati. This Bati or Bahulavan lies between Radha Kunda and Vrindavan. In fact, next slide, please. According to the scriptures, there was a cow named Bahula. This is Sri Bahulavan ki jai. We take 3 drops of this pond and continue on our journey, praying for faith like Bahula, the cow. Who is Bahula? Let's understand that. Next slide, please. There was a cow named Bahula. She was once drinking water from this pond that we just saw. That's the pond she was drinking water from. And then a fierce tiger attacked and caught her. She assured the tiger, next slide please, that, well, my dear tiger, you can kill me, you can eat me all you want. Can I please first allow me to go to the house of my master? He's a Brahmana. Feed milk to my hungry calf. And then I will come back. I promise. And then you can eat me. Next slide, please. So the tiger agreed. So she got home. She told her calf to drink as much milk as you can, milk to your full satisfaction, and then told him about her promise to the tiger.
And when the calf was drinking milk, Srila Radharaman Maharaj was explaining that Bahula was crying. And in fact, it is said that when the tiger, when first Bahula requested the tiger that, please let me go, I promise you I will come back. And then the tiger said, as if you are going to come back. You want me to believe you that you're going to come back to me if I let you go? You'll never come back to me. Bahula said, my dear tiger, I reside here in this forest of Vraja. So therefore, I will never tell lies to you. I assure you that my calf is a newborn calf. So let me just go feed my milk to the calf the last time, and I promise I'm going to come back to you. I promise. This is my guarantee to you. So the tiger said, okay, it just felt very compassionate upon the cow. And then, the tiger said, all right. The tiger thought that Bahula is never going to come back. But then he said, all right, you can go. You can go. So Bahula, when she came back, the calf, came running to meet her mother. And then Bahula was crying. She was crying as her little calf was drinking her milk. And then suddenly the calf asked, Ma, why are you crying? Why are you crying like this? And then Bahula was licking her calf and said that no, nothing, it's okay. You drink milk to your satisfaction. I am just happy that you are drinking milk. But drink milk to your complete satisfaction, because I might not be there tomorrow to give you my milk. And she was crying and crying. And then the calf started crying, what do you mean? You will not be here tomorrow? Why? Why will you not be here tomorrow? And then Bahula said, well, she had to then reveal that, this is what happened. I met with the tiger, and the tiger has told me that, he just gave me some time that I can come and spend with you and give you my milk for the last time. And then I have to now go back so that the tiger can eat me. And then the Bahula's calf, she started saying, no, Ma, no, I cannot let you go. See, you are such a wonderful mother. You are actually needed by the Brahmana under whose shelter we stay, because you give milk. I am useless. I am just a calf. I am just born yesterday. Let me go to the tiger. Let the tiger eat me. And all this was, this conversation between Bahula and her calf was being heard. Next slide, please. It was being heard by the Brahmana. The Brahmana was hearing, and then Brahmana started crying, listening to this heartfelt conversation between Bahula and her calf. And then immediately the Brahmana said, no. You, Bahula, you are my mother. You give milk for the sustenance of my family. So I cannot allow you nor your calf to go. I will go. I am old enough. I have lived my life. Let me go to the tiger. Let the tiger eat me. And then they started competing with each other. No, you stay back. No, you stay back. No, you stay back. All three of them. The calf, Bahula, and the Brahmana. Next slide, please. And then they were saying, no, let us go. And saying like this, all three of them, they came in front of the tiger. They came back to the tiger. And the tiger, seeing that Bahula had actually kept up her promise and she has returned. That time, the tiger was amazed. He was shocked. And then the Brahmana first said, you know what? Don't you eat my cow, my Bahula. Don't eat her. And please don't eat my newly born calf also. They're very, very dear to me. You eat me. I am old man. You come and eat me. And then at that time, this little calf is saying, no. You eat me. Don't eat my mother. Don't eat my master. Eat me. I am no use. You eat me. And then Bahula, very gently, she came forward and said, this is my deal with you, my dear tiger. I have kept up my promise. You keep up your promise and eat me, and let my master and my calf go. Just eat me. So at this point, it is said that Krishna himself, next slide, please. Krishna himself appeared. This is how they are fighting, that no, let me go. No, I will kill. I will get killed by you. You kill me. Like this, they were fighting for each other. The tiger was completely taken aback that how can someone be so protective of each other in this way? Next slide, please. So seeing this beautiful scene, Krishna immediately made his appearance here. And then Krishna said, and seeing Krishna, the tiger immediately had a change of heart and said that I will not eat all three of you. You go back to your village. I don't want to eat all three of you. I don't want to eat any of you. You go back to your village. I don't want you. You have just kept up your promise. And Krishna was so pleased. We can see here with Bahula and her calf. Krishna loves the cows. So how beautifully Krishna is feeding Bahula, and the calf is now so delighted. And, all three of them, they return back to, their own village. So this is the pastime that Srila Radharaman Maharaj had explained to us so beautifully. And so Maharaj was explaining that this entire forest of Bahulavan, because of the sincerity of Bahula, this forest Krishna named it Bahulavan. And because Bahulavan is very near to Radhakund, so therefore on Bahulashtami, which is coming up on the 8th of November, on Sunday, is Bahulashtami. On that day is celebrated as the appearance day of of Sri Radhakund. So that day we will do 12 o'clock midnight, we will go and take snan, our bath in the Radhakund. So this is the glory that after a cow, this entire forest, because to spread the glories of mother cow, this forest got the name Bahulavan. Jai Shri Bahula Mata ki jai.
Next slide, please. And this is the darshan at Bahulavan. We can see Bahula, her darshan, and the calf, Shri Bahula ki jai. We pray that we can get the same faith and dependence on Krishna, that Krishna will always do good for everyone as long as we depend on him, allow him to do what he wants to do with the devotee. And then Krishna will do things which we never expect. How Krishna made this tiger have a change of heart, that no one can plan and do this, however big planner or manager that person is. But Bahula, the simple Bahula, just depending on Krishna, and Krishna arranged this. So let us pray to Mother Bahula to award us this faith and dependence on Krishna. Next slide, please. Lord Chaitanya, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wandered through these different forests, he became overwhelmed by the natural beauty of this place, Bahulavan. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 17, there is a very heart-rendering description of how Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu came to Bahulavan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered Bahulavan, the beautiful cows grazing surrounded him. They stopped eating the grass and overflowing with prema, they began to bellow and lick his body. See this affectionate, motherly mood of the cows. Mahaprabhu became ecstatically, completely absorbed in this ecstatic waves of prema. And then when he regained his external consciousness, he started caressing the cows. And these cows, they did not want to leave Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. With great difficulty, the cowherd folk, they came and they forced the cows onwards because they understood he is Krishna himself. He has come. Krishna has come, and the cows were so helplessly attracted to him. Again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became absorbed in transcendental emotions and separation from the cows. And remembering Krishna, weeping, he called out, Kothai Krishna, Kothai Krishna, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And then the herds of deers and does, the female deer, they gathered and they just came and very spontaneously started licking Mahaprabhu's limbs with great affection. There were parrots and cuckoos and bees. They began singing in the fifth notes. And these peacocks, we can see a peacock danced before him.
And you can see the deer also licking. The calf is licking on one side, the deer is licking Mahaprabhu on one side.
Completely jubilant, these trees and creepers, which Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is entwined with. They covered themselves in these buds, new leaves and flowers. And their arm-like branches and twigs, they lovingly offered their flowers and fruits at the lotus feet of Sri Man Mahaprabhu. Seeing these ecstatic emotions of these moving and non-moving entities of Vrindavan, the trees, the peacocks, the deers, the does and cows. Sriman Mahaprabhu, he became so absorbed in transcendental ecstasy and he loudly cried, "Chant Krishna, chant Krishna." And then all of these moving and non-moving entities started echoing his words.
Krishna, 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 Krishna.
Just like in the forest of Jharkhand, he made all of the animals dance and hug each other. Similarly, he did the same thing in Bahulavan. Sometimes Mahaprabhu, he was crying piteously and he started lovingly, he started glorifying the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. Next slide, please.
And Sriman Mahaprabhu, he actually saw that perched on the branches of one of the trees, there were two parrots who were called as, the male parrot was called as Shuka and the female parrot was called as Shari. So Shuka and Shari. So we can see here Shuka and Sari. So Shuka started saying, "My Krishna is Madan Mohana, the enchanter of Cupid's mind." And Lord Chaitanya is listening to the conversation between the two parrots.
Then Sari said, "Yes, as long as my Radha is on his left side. Otherwise, he's only Madan. He's not Madan Mohan."
Shuka is saying, "My Krishna lifted Giriraj on his finger."
Oh, that's because my Radha transmitted power into him. Otherwise, how could he have done so?
Well, my Krishna is the life of the entire universe.
You know, my Radha is the life of that life.
Well, my Krishna, his head is beautifully decorated with a peacock feather.
That's only because my Radha's name is marked on that feather.
The peacock feather on my Krishna's head leans to the left.
Oh, you know why? Because it wants to bow down to my Radha's feet, who is standing on the left of Krishna.
My Krishna is the moon.
My Radha is the trap that captures that.
There is no need to argue uselessly. Let us not argue like this. Please, please, let us just glorify both Radha and Krishna together.
I happily agree to this. This was what I always wanted.
So in this way, both the Shuka and Sari, the male the male parrot and the female parrot, they were, speaking in this way, glorifying Sri Radha and Krishna. And Mahaprabhu was enjoying this conversation and, getting more and more involved and just immersing himself in the Vraja Bhava, in the love of Sri Vrindavan Dham.
So after hearing these parrots' loving quarrel, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he watched the dance of the peacocks, and seeing their bluish necks, he remembered Krishna. And again, he became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. He fainted, fell down. Somehow his companions brought him back to consciousness, and then he continued his Vrajamandal Parikrama from Bahulavan. He came to Viharavan. Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Next slide, please. As the name denotes, Viharavan is the place of Krishna's favorite pastimes. It is not one of the 12 forests of Vrindavan, but it's a very important forest. Srimati Radharani, Sri Krishna, they met here during their stay at Basauti and Chatikara, like this. Next slide, please. So this is what we saw, Viharavan, Radha and Krishna meeting when they were at Basauti, Chatikara.
So it is said, next, after Viharavan, we come to our next village, which is the village of Basauti. Next slide, please. So this one, you see, this is the actual picture of the village of Basauti. So this village, Basauti, it is said that Maharaj Vrishabhanu, along with Srimati Radharani and his wife Kirtida Sundari Devi, you see, Srimati Radharani was born in Raval, and from Raval, Maharaj Rishabhanu, he wanted to come to, towards, because Raval is towards Mathura side. He wanted to stay more near the Vrindavan area. So therefore, he wanted to move his residence. So till the time that they found Barshana, it is said that for 3 years, Maharaj Rishabhanu, Kirtida Sundari, the parents of Srimati Radharani and Srimati Radharani, they stayed here in this Basauti village. So this Basauti village, Basauti means Bas Karna, means in Bas Karna matlab in Hindi, it is said where you stay. So Srimati Radharani stayed here in this village for 3 years from before going to Barshana. So that is why this place is called as Basauti. So when Srimati Radharani was staying in Basauti, very near to Basauti was another place called as Chatikara. So Chatikara was the place that Nanda Baba, Jashoda Maya, Krishna, and Balaram, that because, Gokul was getting so much infested with so many demons coming and trying to kill Krishna. So therefore, Nanda Baba decided, no, we're not going to stay in Gokul no more. Let us move from here. So they left Gokul and they were coming to, go to Nandagaon. So they also moved around the same time, staying next to each other almost. So Basauti and Chatikara is the place where Nanda Baba came from Gokul and stayed for 3-4 years here before going to Nandagaon. So when Radharani was in Basauti, when Krishna was in Chatikara, both of them would meet at Viharavan, which we just saw. So this is how Basauti and Chatikara are described here. So we crossed this beautiful village of Srimati Radharani's stay. We offer our obeisances to the dust of this beautiful village, taking the dust on our head, smearing it all over our body so that we can get the mercy of the lotus feet dust of Srimati Radharani.
Next slide, please. Now, from Basauti, we come to this place, Mukharai. This is the village of Srimati Radharani's Nani, which means maternal grandmother. Srimati Radharani, her mother's name is Kirtida Sundari. And the mother of Kirtida Sundari, Devi, is Mukharai. Mukharai is the grandmother of Sri Radhe, and so this village is named after her. Next slide, please. Mukharai ki jai. We take blessings from Srimati Radharani's grandmother to allow us to develop love for Sri Radhe and to be always in the mood of the servant of the servant of the servant of Srimati Radharani, of our spiritual masters. And that we may always just remember Srimati Radharani, depend on her, not think of any result, not think of anything. Think of always remember her, take her shelter. If she agrees, if she can convince Lord Krishna to bestow her the love of God, Krishna Prema, to anyone that she wants. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Srimati Mukharai jai. Next slide, please.
So now walking along the main road, we come and it's scorching sun. The walk from Mukharai to Radhakund is quite a long walk. And we are walking along the main road. So it's a very, 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 very difficult walk. So we have to make sure that because there are trucks, there are, it's the main highway. So there are lots of vehicles that are moving at great speed. So we stay on the side of the roads and then very, very carefully we keep walking towards Sri Radhakund. So this is the entrance. If you pinch out, this is Talahati, it is said, which is the arrival gate of Sri Radhakund. So if you zoom in, you can see it more better.
And if you have, when we come here, we have to be careful of one thing. By the time we come here, we would be very tired because of walking in scorching sun. We are about to reach our tents and destination, and there is a temptation to drink some cool beverages, some sugarcane juice. Sometimes there is a lemon juice. And seeing that, our mouth waters. Oh, I wish I could get that. But beware, as soon as you drink, the sugarcane juice is nice, the lemon juice is nice, everything is good. But because our body is so much heated, as soon as we drink it, that catches cold. Immediately we catch cold. So be very, very careful of that temptation. Uh, and later we can maybe get the sugarcane juice and keep it, store it. When we go and we relax, after that we can drink. So be very careful, especially at this area. Several devotees have fallen sick in the Vrajamandal Parikrama. We have to keep ourselves strong to continue our journey for 30 days. Shritalahati Dham ki jai. Just a practical tip.
Hari bol.
Next slide, please.
So from here, if can we go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you. So from here, if we just walk a little more distance, we come to a T junction, and right in front of us is Sri Giriraj. Sri Giriraj Govardhan Lal ki jai. And if we go to the right is Sri Radhakund. If we go to the left is Kusum Sarovar. And we will go towards the left for now because our camping site is right at the foothills of Govardhan. So that's where we will be staying. Next slide, please. So this is our camping site at the foothills of Sri Giriraj. It is so beautiful here. You know, it is said in the Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami, he says that the best place to reside in the entire creation is on the banks of the river, banks of Sri Radhakund, because Sri Radhakund is the center of the entire creation. And this is the place where Sri Radha and Krishna, they have eternal pastimes. It's the liquid manifestation of Srimati Radharani, the liquid manifestation of Sri Shama Sundara. So therefore, their love, is manifested in this way. So to stay for 3 nights in this wonderful holy place of Sri Radha Kund is the greatest fortune of all times. So keeping this as our base for the next 3 nights, we will stay here tonight because we walked so much. We will just take rest. In the evening, if we feel like, we can take a little walk towards Radhakund. It's around 1.5 kilometers from this campsite to go to Radhakund. And then tomorrow morning, we will start our Giriraj Parikrama. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Lal ki jai. And we will be able to cover our Giri Govardhan Parikrama. We will cover it. We'll try to cover it tomorrow, but if not, we'll cover it over 2 days. Because there's so many beautiful places to see, so many beautiful leelas to hear, so many glories that we can understand while we are walking on the beautiful path of Sri Giriraj. And then on Sunday, after completing our Giriraj Parikrama, we will take midnight bath at Sri Radhakund. That day is the appearance day of Sri Radhakund. It is Bahulashtami. And yes, that day is also commonly celebrated as Ahoy Ashtami, that mothers fast for their children. So both of these festivals are there on that day, and we will nicely celebrate it in all of your association by doing Giriraj Parikrama the next 2 days.
Next slide, please. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Namaste Girirajaya.
Namaste Girirajaya.
Govardhana iti namine.
Govardhana iti namine.
Ashesha Kleshana Shaya.
Ashesha Kleshana Shaya.
Paramanandadaine.
Paramanandadaine.
This is the beautiful Shri Giriraj, which we will perform Parikrama. And with that, next slide, please. So today we went from Ganeshra to Bahulavan to Basauti to Sri Radha Kunda. Next slide, please. And this is the location in the entire Vrajamandal Parikrama from Shantanu Kunda to Radha Kunda. Next slide, please. On the way, we went to the Khechari village of Putana, Bahulavan, Viharavan, where Basauti and Chhattikar are right in the middle. And we went to Basauti, Mukharai, and now we are staying at the foothills of Sri Giriraj at Sri Radha Kunda ki jai. So we can end here and we will sing Radha Krishna Pranamora.
Yugala
Kishore. So we can share the link. Yes, thank you very much. The divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna, is my life and soul in life or death. I have no other refuge but them.
In a forest of small kadamba trees on the banks of the Jamuna, I will seat the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewels.
I will anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood pastes scented with chuya, and I will fan them with chamara whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moon-like faces?
After stringing together garlands of malati flowers, I will place them around their necks. I will offer tambula scented camphor to their lotus mouths.
With the permission of all the Sakhis headed by Lalita and Vishakha, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna.
Narottam Das Thakur says, the servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu longs and desires for the service of the divine couple. So this was the translation. This song is very beautifully written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur.
Radha Krishna
Pranamora Jugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Jivane Marore Rati Arunahi Jivane Marore Rati Arunahi Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Kalindira Dule Kele Kadambera Bana Ratana Bedira Bosha Bodu Jana Ratana Bedira Bosha Bodu Jana Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Shama Gauri Ange Vivo Chandane Radha Shamara Gulamo Nave Viri Mula Chandra Shamara Gulamo Nave Viri Mula Chandra Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Gatiya Mayani Wala Vivadahar Adhare Duliya Viva कर्पूरतमूले आधारे दुनिया दिवो कर्पूरतमूले राधा कृष्ण प्राण जुगल किशोर ललिता विशाखादि যত সখী বৃন্দা আজয়া করিব সেবা চরণার বিন্দা আজয়া করিব সেবা চরণার বিন্দা রাধা কৃষ্ণ প্রাণ মোর যুগল কিশোর শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দাসের অনুদাস সেবায় বিনাশ করে নরোত্তম দাস সেবায় বিনাশ করে নরোত্তম দাস রাধা কৃষ্ণ প্রাণ যুগল কিশোর রাধা কৃষ্ণ প্রাণ যুগল কিশোর জীবনে মরণে গতি আর নাহি মোর জীবনে মরণে গতি আর নাহি মোর রাধা কৃষ্ণ প্রাণ মোর যুগল কিশোর রাধা কৃষ্ণ প্রাণ মোর যুগল কিশোর
जय श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर की जय
जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
श्रील गुरुदेव की
जय
जय Hare Krishna, thank you for enthusiastically participating in this most glorious, wonderful bhajan. And now let's open for questions or comments.
Yes, Kirti.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. I really like today's class about Bahulash place, and I actually have one question. So I think that Bahulashtami is coming pretty close up. I think it's next week or something. Is there
Sunday.
any specific Sunday? Is there any specific way that we're supposed to celebrate at home for Bahulashtami?
At your home, the best way to celebrate is that you can sing Sri Radha Kataksha Stavaraja on that day, because that day is the appearance day of Sri Radhakund. So, it is said that if anyone chants the Radha Kataksha on the banks of the Radhakund on this day, it is said that Srimati Radharani fulfills all their desires. So please do chant the Radha Kataksha on Sunday. And if you have waters from the Radhakund, you can sprinkle on your head and take a bath, especially with that water. Just take a little bit water of that Radhakund and sprinkle it. But if we don't have Radhakund waters with us, there is a way that we can invoke Radhakund in any ordinary water. There is a mantra, the mantra that was chanted by Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself when he took bath at Radhakunda. he chanted a very beautiful mantra, which is Yasya Radha Priya Vishnus Tasyam Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarvagopishu Saivaikya Vishnur Atyanta Vallabha. So this mantra, if we chant to any water, then the water becomes transformed into Radhakund water. And then that water we can sprinkle on our head and, imagine in our mind, imagine that we're taking bath at Sri Radhakund. So we can do that.
I have one more question, Mataji and Papuji. So, today we mentioned something about Putana and how in the last birth she was Balimaraj's daughter, and because she So my question is, so if she was Balimaraj's daughter and Krishna, Vamanadev offered 3 feats, I think, to Bali Maharaj, and then she became a witch in the Dwapar Yuga. Yeah, in the Dwapar Yuga, but she still got back to Godhead. But why is she getting back to Godhead if Krishna killed her? And she was basically trying to kill Krishna. And why did still Krishna give back to Godhead to her?
Well, when Krishna kills someone, he chooses them, first of all. They have to be qualified to be killed at the hands of Krishna, or completely disqualified in one sense. But they are liberated because Krishna killed them. Now, to what level? Do they get Sayujya Mukti, they merge, or do they get Sarupya Mukti, they get the same form as the Lord? Several demons have gotten that. Or they get love of God. And that depends on Krishna. And because Ratnamala had this desire to feed Krishna, Krishna only took the good desire. She also had the desire to kill him. So Krishna took only the good desire. You want to feed me? I'll make you a nurse in the spiritual world. That's why in Bhagavatam this verse is chanted, that Kamba Dayalum Sharanam Brajema. This verse is so auspicious and so wonderful that who can be more merciful, that he actually took the poison from Putana's breast. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigham sayapaya yadapyasadvi lebhe gatim dhatriuchitam tatonyam kam va dayalum sharanam vrajema. How can I take shelter of one who more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she demon? This is Krishna's mercy. Mercy means to give something that we do not deserve. If we deserve it, that's karma. But if we don't deserve something, Putana did not deserve to go to the spiritual world, but Krishna still gave that. That is his mercy. Mercy. When do you show someone mercy? When do you give someone something that they don't deserve? Only when you love them. That's the only reason you would give them something. So Krishna shows is so merciful, means he's so loving. So this is the mercy of Krishna. Your question is very valid. Why did he do that? That's because he loves everyone. So, and because she had that desire, he fulfilled that particular desire and sent her to the spiritual world. Who can be more merciful than such a person?
That answers your question, Beta.
Thank you, Mataji Prabhuji, for a very nice session. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Beta.
Krishna.
Hari Bol. Anjali?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you for such a thing. Today is our Hui Ashtami, so I'm also fasting for my children. And then that's why I asked you that, like, this is also called Hui Ashtami. So it's so good to start the day with such the prayer, the darshan, the story of like, I'm not getting the name. So it was so beautiful. And for Radha Ashtami today, I sang in the morning Radha Kripa Katash. Actually, I start my day singing that only. It's very, very close to my heart. So beautiful. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji, for everything. And everything is falling so beautifully in its place. सब राधा रानी की मेहरबानी है, सब कृष्ण का प्रेम है. Everything. So grateful to you. My please Danvat Pranam for everything. So
Thank
it's
you.
so
You seem
nice,
kind of cold. We pray that you feel better soon. Seems to be that you have a cold.
Yes, I have it.
Oh.
So that is a thing. But it's okay.
Please take care, and we pray for your speedy recovery. Thank you so much. And we
Thank
pray
you
that you
so
have wonderful
much.
fasting and not too much trouble.
No, it will be fine. Radha Rani is there. Everything is there, and your prayers are there. So everything.
Hari-
So thank you so much. Haribo.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vrinda Gopika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Koti Koti Danvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Today not going to cry. You narrating the Leelas Mataji, how nicely that we enter in that last one Leela and Kothai Krishna, all that the parrot, cuckoo, lilies, peacock, dance, trees and creepers and flowers and fruits. They offer the flowers and fruit to Lord Gauranga, chant Krishna Krishna, and that both parrot Srimati Radharani and Krishna's parrot, and finally they glorifying Leelas of Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. And so nice picture, Mataji, every time lotus feet of Shri Radha Gopinath, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. And we love today's Narottam Das bhajan. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugal Kisor Jivane Marane Gati Har Nahi Mora Shamagori Ange Divo Chandane Raganda Shamagori Ange Divo Chandanera Ganda Chamara Dularo Kabe Heri Mukha Chandra Lalita Vishakhadi Jatasaki Vrinda Agna Karyo Shiva Charan Vanda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasera Das Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasera Das Seva Bilasa Kiro Narottama Das Radha Krishna Pranamora Yugala Kishore Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam Shridham Vrindavan Dham ki jai Shri Giriraj Dharan ki jai Shri Shantanu Radha Kunda ki jai. Thank you Mataji Prabhuji. Dandvat Pranam.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Roshan Prabhu. Roshan Prabhu, are you there? Your hand is raised. You have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, who else has raised their hands? Two hands. Okay. If there are no more questions, we can end here. Thank you so much for your association. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam Mataji.